Hello and welcome to Property with Jacob. Today we're going to be doing a Q&A session with one of Manchester's best estate agents. We've got some questions, we've put it out to the community and we're just going to be answering them. So let's get started right away. We've got one question here. How's the market been post-lockdown?
Post-lockdown?
Yeah.
So post-lockdown, it's actually been great. So as a company, we actually worked throughout lockdown. Everybody was working from home. Obviously, no viewings taking place, nothing like that. We were still having a lot of inquiries come through. Obviously, on June the 6th, I believe it was, the stamp duty, I believe it was, came in. So obviously, if you bought a house between £0 and £500,000, you had to pay no stamp duty. And I believe before that, it was £0 to 125,000. So that was a massive jump.
Yeah.
Obviously, that attracts a lot of first-time buyers. Even if you wanted to buy a second property with buy-to-let investors, stuff like that, attracted them as well. So far, I can say it's been great.
Yeah, I agree.
Great question.
I've heard that it's really helped on spurred on the help to buy market. A lot of people are purchasing more rental properties, and for you guys watching, as this particular rental property investor, it is a fantastic time to buy now. There's a lot of fear out there in the media. There's a lot of negative in the media, but if we take away the economic positives, I know we've had a 20% decline in our economy, but that doesn't mean we need to suffer. We can benefit from the situation as best we can do. Leading on from that question, I might as well ask from one of our viewers that
Okay.
how do you think the next 6 months are going to go in sales between now and when are we now? We're in September. Oh yeah, up to what, March next year?
Up to March next year. Good question. I think it's going to start off. It's obviously the next probably 6 to 8 weeks. It's going to be absolutely fine, same as it's been, since pre-lockdown. However, when it starts to get probably around November, December time, people are going to be saying, "Oh, we want to save this money in terms of stamp duty." However, November to December time is probably going to be too late. Because with like exchanging contracts, completing everything else, it's going to take a minimum of 3 months, I'd say, and that's going to be too short notice for different properties and everything else. So I'd say 6 to 8 weeks, absolutely fine. But if you are thinking about putting your property on the market, if you're thinking of buying, right now is the best time.
Great question, great answer, thank you. Next question we've got is, do we have a break clause within the tenancy agreement for in case anything goes wrong? Yeah, to answer that question, it's a good question. Yes, we do. We've got a lot of tenancy agreements. There's a lot of clauses which would result in a Section 8 eviction notice if they're breached, and you could perform a Section 8 eviction notice, but that's obviously the very, very, very last step. You'd want to try and bring that in first. So, for example, that question can be addressed to single lets or HMOs. We'll talk about single lets first. You could have antisocial behaviour disorders notices, or ASBOs. If there's a lot of notices from neighbours or perhaps the police, then you could evict a tenant based off that. As a break clause, it's in a lot of tenancy agreements. Obviously, not paying rent is the biggest one. With a few disruptive orders, I personally, as a landlord, I'd find it a bit of an inconvenience being harassed all the time by the neighbours, but I wouldn't particularly be bothered. I wouldn't be as bothered as if they just stopped paying my rent. I do care because I care about the surrounding community, and I care that they live in a peaceful place. That's good. However, with not paying the rent and, for example, antisocial behaviour disorders, it's two different things. In terms of other tenancy clauses, there's an array of them. Not having changing the amount of people that are living within the dwelling. If it becomes an illegal amount, for example, say there's only meant to be 2 adults and 3 children living within a property, and it turns out there's like 10 people living in there, that's like really illegal. So that's pushing on the way to a Section 8 as well. Yeah. So there is a lot of clauses that can cause a void tenancy or a suspension of the tenancy. Great. Anything to add to that, or?
No, I think you summed that up perfectly.
Next question is, what is the first step if you already have enough of a deposit? Well, do you want to start off that? I've got a bit to add, but I'm pretty sure they're sick of hearing my voice. Go on, you over.
So looking at it from my sort of perspective, if you've got a deposit, the first thing that you should be doing is looking at different mortgages out there. Say for example, what I mean by that, if you see a property tomorrow, you're booking a viewing, see a property tomorrow, you want to offer, you're not in a position to do so. Obviously, a lot of agents will ask for an agreement in principle, whereas if you've not gone for that, then obviously they won't take that. They won't consider your offer as really good. So the first step to do that is seeing a mortgage broker, go to your local bank. Local bank will offer a really good interest rate. A broker, you'll get a lot of different companies. Wide range. So I definitely recommend doing that first. Well, would you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, sure thing. So I feel like that's really good. That's a great thing to do from like an estate agent's point of view, and I feel that's fantastic. Now, an individual level, when you have your deposit ready, you need to be knowing what you're aiming for. Is this a property for yourself? Is this a property that's a rental property? What is it for? Now, let's answer both of those questions. If it's a property for yourself, do you plan on living in it? Is it used as, are you living in it, but then is it an investment? What's your purpose there? And if so, then you need to choose a property that fits the correct criteria for you. So again, if you want a high amount of rental yield, then you might want to try and find a property that has a lot of bedrooms, and then you can convert it to a HMO to give you that yield. If you're looking for some sort of capital growth, you can look at upcoming areas, purchase property that's again not in the best of conditions, from renovation, and add value to the property that way, as well as it being in a rising market. So you get both. Just relying on the rising market alone, in the short-term strategy, that's not a good idea. 2008 proves exactly why that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
2008 financial crisis, I'll probably do a video on it, but there's a lot to be learned from the mistakes made of the previous generation of people. We don't want those mistakes to be repeated. Now, talking about renovations, you can always add value to a property by doing a renovation. So if you want to kind of increase the value of your money, then you'd want to choose a property that might require some form of renovation. And if you just want to sit on it for the next 40 years and watch the value of it go up, it will go up over a long period, 5, 10 years, but 5 years is based on where we are at the property cycle. Right now we're about in the middle. But over the course of a 20-40 year period, if you're looking at it as an investment, then it could go up a lot. So if you have your deposit right now, then you'd want to choose your criteria based on what your goals are personally and what your personal objectives are. Yeah. Fantastic. So I think that's all we've got time for today. We're going to have another Q&A session very soon. But yeah, thank you very much for Adam coming on to the show.
My pleasure.
And then we'll see you in the next one. So, thank you for watching. If you like this video, then please like it. We've got a lot more videos in the pipeline, so if you like what you see, subscribe to us for weekly videos. I'll see you in the next one.